Hey, Orpheus. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. What's up with you?
I'm doing well. Doing well, my friend. Let me just get this video going. Give me a second. All right, awesome.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, brother? Good to see you.
You too?
Yeah, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, man, no problem. Um, so, you're so would you like to explain like who you are and um the recent breakout hit you released?
Yeah, for sure. Um, my name is Key McKenzie. Um, I am an artist. I am a creator. I dabble in production, live events. I do nonprofit work, rapper. Kind of just have my hands in a lot of different pots.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's just been an amazing journey. Still on that journey. Recently, making new music, and this was kind of like the breakout of a return of sorts for myself,
Yeah.
because I took some time off during the pandemic and
Mm.
just kind of refocused on my values and things like that, and been just kind of working on myself and developing and growing into who I am, taking all the parts of me and bringing them together. And yeah, this is like my first interview post post pandemic, so it's kind of cool. I'm glad to
Yeah.
be able to do it with the KH13 community and the Kingdom Hearts community as a whole, which is pretty dope, pretty dope.
Mm. So, you say how this rap was kind of a more deeper dive into you. So, how do you
Hmm.
explain that? Because you seem to be a pretty big fan yourself.
Yeah, no,
Mm.
I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan. Let's see, my history with Kingdom Hearts. I didn't play the first game right away. Actually, it was until KH2 when that came out, and when I heard about it, I attended Comic Con a few times, and I would see cosplayers and people dressing up, and I grew up around Disney as well, so uh, when I heard that there was this game that had Disney characters in it, but it wasn't really like a Disney game, I was like, well, what does this mean? Like what's going on here? And that's when I got introduced to Sora and Kingdom Hearts, and it actually was the game that introduced me to Final Fantasy. I didn't
Mm.
I didn't know a lot about Final Fantasy either before then, and so when I heard that the sequel was coming out, I was like, all right, well, let me play the first one. One of my older brother, his friend Jason, he played it, and he played a lot of the Final Fantasy games. So he was like, "Yo, you got to play this." And I was like, "All right, cool, Kingdom Hearts." And I just played it like a regular game, and I just liked the idea of like some of these Disney heroes and villains um, not being as Disney-fied, like actually having things to do aside from it being like a children's
Yeah.
demographic. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like I like how, Mickey is this sorcerer, and you don't really know what's going on and all this stuff. And then the Final Fantasy characters that got involved. And I love a good RPG, So I'm like, all right, I started getting into it. First uh what's it called? First move that you learn, dodge roll. I think the dodge roll is the invincible move of all video games. Every single video game should have a component where the person is able to dodge roll. Like it's too good. So that already had me hooked. I was like, all right, cool. Like I could dodge roll in this game, smooth. And the music of the game,
Mm.
hearing Simple and Clean, hearing Dearly Beloved, I was like, this is just epic. It just really, really created like this epic masterpiece. And so I played the first game, was completely surprised with like the twists and turns that happened. And then I played the second game, and the second game just blew me away even more because it was like a little bit more mature. And like I liked how the characters got older. I love, Organization 13 and like, the nobodies and everything about it. And I was like, this is really, really awesome. So I've always been a fan since then. It kind of hooked me as soon as I started playing. And it was cool to go to like conventions, Anime Expo, Comic Con, and see people cosplay as like as the organization, walking around with keyblades and different things like that. And so, it was cool. It was cool. It really ingrained in me. I always thought it was like a slept on game. If anybody was talking about RPGs or video games, I would say, have you played Kingdom Hearts? And they're like, nah. Okay, well then you really don't know what's going on over here. So, but it was fun. It was fun. That's kind of how I got introduced, and I just fell in love with the lore.
Yeah. I think like with people like you starting to bring it up more in pop and like starting to bring it up more in pop culture, it's starting to become a lot more popular now. Like there's sort of like a resurgence. And you mentioned how the music made a pretty big impression on you, and given your career, I assume it had some sort of inspiration on you. So would you like to go to that more?
Yeah, that I've never been able to, because I make separate music from the music that's in Kingdom Hearts, right? I make hip hop and rap and everything like that. So, but I've always respected and loved that music. And my brother, I remember he knew how to play Dearly Beloved on the piano. So he would just play sometimes, and I would just listen. And we got the double disc soundtrack of Kingdom Hearts, and we would just like play it and listen to it on drives. And I'm a type of person where it's like I like to select the right music for the right occasion. So anytime that I'm going to a convention, or anytime I'm going to an expo or anything like that, I usually play video game music. And something that I've always thought, I was like, man, like there should be video game music festivals. Like I work in the live entertainment and music festival community, and I'm like, how dope would it be for like PlayStation just to have a stage, and like you bring out all these different artists that have made some of our favorite video game songs, to perform, and you hear like you see videos of like Sonic, the Sonic team, and they're playing what's that song off of City what's it, not Cityscape, rolling around, rolling around at the speed of sound. Like you got everybody singing it, and I'm like, this would be awesome on like a bigger stage, and it doesn't have to be such a small community, because I think a lot more people are being exposed, to your point, to these video games, and they're starting to hear this music. So the music has always been great, and I've always wondered how I could incorporate it. I know that there's been some rappers, I think like Childish Gambino one time sampled Simple and Clean in a record one time, like the actual song. And like a couple other like up and coming mixtape rappers who kind of fall into the same category as I do, is like, you've been influenced by these games, but you also are a part of like this hip hop community. So you'll say lines and bars that relate to that because you can make that connection. And that's kind of what I did with the Mexican Pizza song. It just kind of fit. I didn't go into it thinking like, oh, I'm about to put this Kingdom Hearts bar into it. I was just kind of freestyling. I was freestyling it. And when I got to the cadence of like, the order and the soda and everything like that, and I said Sora, and I was like, oh, that's a Kingdom Hearts reference. Let me like fill that out some more. And at Taco Bell, I just know that everybody was like, where's the Mexican pizza? Let me get the Mexican pizza, all of this other stuff. And so to me, it's about making connections with people. And I was like, well, the key to my heart would be to their heart would be the Mexican pizza. So I was like, all right, well, let me blend it together. And I was like, key to my heart, like Sora. And I was like, this is cool. And like, what was dope about it is it's authentically me. You know, it's like merging both of my worlds, both as the pop culture. You know, I'll like I'm a nerd straight up. You know what I mean? Like it's just like these kinds of things I enjoy, and like, and I only say the term nerd because like that's how people like to classify it. But like I think all of these the games and anime and all this stuff is so smart and causes you to think and has an emotional IQ to it that a lot of people are missing out on because maybe it's not in the language that they like, or maybe it's not in the type of animation style that they enjoy. And I think that people who really care about video games and care about anime and the Japanese culture and the way that they tell stories is that there's always a deeper heart to what you're looking at, and like don't get caught up in it being a cartoon or something that's here. Like you can learn something from it. And I think in Kingdom Hearts, one of the biggest learning lessons is just like the duality between darkness and light, and how both some people may say need to coexist. Some people may say it needs to be fully light. Some people may say it needs to be fully darkness, and just that communication around that and discovering that for yourself. So, it's learning these things through video games and through, shows and animes and things like that, that I think give me a leg up when I'm writing or when I'm talking about things, because it's like I could pull from those. Like I learned it from a different place. Some people may have learned it through their own personal experience. They may have learned it through a movie or an American TV show, or they may not have learned it at all. They may have learned it through a book or something. I learned mine through a video game, and that's how it happened.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, so I think you coming up with those lyrics on the spot is probably the most surprising thing, like to most of us, because like we kind of assumed that you kind of planned it from the beginning, right? But like the fact that you kind of thought of it as you were doing it, I think kind of shows how open-minded you are to that facet of culture,
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm not sure if you're allowed to like disclose this, but like how did like the staff react to the
So I can't say too much because I can't speak for the company. I just want to put that on record that I'm not speaking for Taco Bell or for the process of this. I appreciate Taco Bell for allowing me to share some of my creativity and my art, and they think that it was good enough for them to use to bring back this product. Like I'm very humbled and very appreciative of that. And to be honest, they didn't really know. No one really knew. Like I heard from some people, they're like, oh, because it's older people that are at this corporation. There's young people too, like, but the people who are doing this stuff, like they're a little bit older, and like they had to Google it. I heard some people, they're like, yeah, I had to Google like what that meant, and like they just saw Sora with a keyblade, so they put two and two together, but they had no idea like what it actually like meant in full context, which I thought was hilarious. Which is cool for me, because I'm like, I was just being authentic. Like I didn't realize, even when I was doing it, I was like, wait, these are two different franchises technically that I'm putting together in this.
It's a crossover. It's like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it's a crossover. It's exactly. And I didn't think much of it because I was just being me, just and that's the cool part, because all throughout my music, I've been trying to grow more in my vulnerability, trying to grow more in my authenticity. And a lot of rap and hip hop is like the machismo, the cool, you know what I mean? You got to be the coolest person there, and it's like, well, what is cool? And that's why I like my rap name is That's Cool. And it's like, that's cool is meant to empower everybody to make a decision that, hey, that's what's cool to me. It doesn't have to be what pop culture says is cool. It's like, no, that's cool. And if you understand the elements that make that cool, then you can represent it in a positive way. So I've been on this journey learning that, and I realized, a lot of my love for video games and love for Japanese anime, and like, you know, I grew up around the Asian culture, so I have a lot of respect for all Asian cultures, you know. And I took a trip to Japan, and it just really blew my mind, and like it was everything that I wanted it to be, and I want to enjoy it more. You know, I'm hoping to make more trips, and that was an element that I hadn't really included in my raps up until that point. And I was like, you know, like some of it is sprinkled in. Like I've made Pokemon references before to like older songs and like, you know, different things like that. But I was like, I need to add more of this, because people need to know who I am and what I enjoy and what I love. Because I don't want someone to hear my music and then when I go over their house and I bring my Switch, then they're like, well, like, where'd that come from? You know, I want them to know that it's like, yo, I play Smash Brothers. Like I play, you know, Breath of the Wild. Like I play Pokemon. Like I'm out here, you know, doing this stuff and contributing to the conversation. So it was really special for me. And I had no idea that the Kingdom Hearts internet community really like grabbed onto it, you know, because I just put it in there and it was just going to be fun for me. And then all of a sudden I started getting DMs. I got a DM from my cousin who his name is Darsan. He played he's an actor. He's been in like Victorious and in Community and everything like that. He was on the 5th and 6th season of Community, and he sent me a tweet and he was like, yo, your line is blowing up. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he starts sending me screenshots of people tweeting about the lyric in the Mexican Pizza song. And I was like, this is crazy. I had no idea like that it was gonna pick up like that. And it's my first viral moment, I guess, if you can call it that, you know, and I wouldn't want it with any other type of community. Like that is awesome. And everybody who I talked to or shared their art on my Instagram or on Twitter, they've been so receptive in like finding out who I was, because no one knew. They were like, oh, this lyric just happened. How did this happen? And I would just start to DM people or tweet them back and say, you know, thank you for enjoying the lyric. Like, thank you for enjoying the song. Like, I appreciate it. I want to share this with you. And it's just been an amazing community that has taken the lyric in, created art around it, which is really awesome. So yeah, man, I've been enjoying it, you know, just communicating with everybody. I'm so glad that the real ones picked up on the line that I had in there, and they used that. And I just love where it went. Like, seeing pictures of Sora working at Taco Bell is hilarious to me. You know, seeing all these memes. And it was funny because I didn't even think about it with KH4 coming out. I didn't realize that, like, and I knew like at least that everyone was talking about Sora being in Super Smash Brothers, because they've been trying to get Sora in Smash Brothers for the longest time. So I knew that like that fandom was kind of there. But KH4 came out, and then when I just did it, it was just, I don't know, it was just present in my mind. So to see it elevate into those kinds of realms is pretty cool also. And like one of my favorite pieces of art is a woman who she drew Sora eating a Mexican pizza, and it just like looked really cool. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, I'm so happy that I did this, and I'm happy that it's bringing other people like happiness and conversation around it. It's really dope.
Yeah. Yeah, because it really blew up the day it came out. Like I'm kind of, and like I think that kind of goes to show like how connected the community is. Like the second that came out, it just kind of went everywhere.
Yeah, it spread like wildfire. And then I got your article, KH13's article, sent to me on Facebook, and I didn't realize that there was a whole group, and I didn't realize everybody was talking about it. And I was like, this is really spreading right now. Like it's spreading. And yeah, to your point, the community is connected. You know, they support the game, and I hope that the game developers and I believe that they do like know how much people support the game and the characters and how much they love them. And I love that community for that. You know, it's definitely something I'm cherishing and a highlight of my music career for sure.
Yeah, we're really glad to have witnessed your ascension here. Um, um, so thank you very much for your time. It was really cool to be able to like talk with you about this whole scenario. And we hope to see you stick around in the community in the upcoming like future here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be dropping new music soon. Um, if you guys want to look at some of my old music, it's under Norik. That's cool. And Norik is spelled Noreik. And That's Cool is THASCOOL. Moving forward, just breaking news, a lot of my music is going to be under the artist name Key McKenzie, which is my actual name. And
Mm,
the reason why I did that is because it's back to that authenticity
yeah.
portion of it. I'm trying to bring everything about me to this next phase of music. So I've had a few people reach out and say, hey, you got support from the community. So all I could ask is when I drop my music, whether it has a Kingdom Hearts reference or not, I hope that, that you guys enjoy it and that you guys spread it around and talk about it. And hopefully one day, at a con or something, I get to perform it. And I would just save that song like specifically for performing it there. I'm not going to perform it anywhere else. But if I go to like Comic-Con or Anime Expo or something, and I'm billed as like performing that,
Mhm.
oh man, I can't wait to share it with everybody and have everyone say it at the same time that I say it, and like we just rock out. Like it'll
Yeah.
be so cool, so cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Mhm.
And I think I speak with the and I think I speak for the whole community here when I say that we'll do our best to support you. You are on our radar now, so don't worry about
Awesome,
that.
awesome. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for sitting down with me, letting me tell my side about it. I'm glad to give you all the exclusive. I want to see other people reshare what you guys put together. And yeah, my line is free anytime. Like the community, we're connected now. So if you ever want to talk anything else, I'm available.
Yeah, man, no problem. With that, we'll be ending off the interview here. So thank you for speaking with us once again. Um,
All right,
yeah,
peace.
yeah, man.